Okay, so I'm going to give a demonstration of how to use Cloud Retailer to do physical inventory count. So from the home page, we'll go to Tools, then we'll go to Inventory Counting. All right, so we can see a list of all of the inventory counts that have occurred in the past, or maybe are still in process on this list. And then we can create a new inventory count. So you can give it a reference number. And I'm going to give this one a reference number of new, but it could be today's date and wine or clothing or something like that. Then you can also add some a little bit more comprehensive notes. Next, you need to choose a location. Then lastly, you need to choose an inventory count type. Now, there are three types: a blank inventory, all inventory, or basically setting up a filter. So what we're doing here is we're telling the system what we're going to be counting in advance. Now, the importance of this is if you tell the system what you're going to count in advance, then it can give you better information about what you might be missing or what you've over under counted. So if you say a blank physical inventory count, essentially what you'll be doing is just adding items to the count as you scan them, okay, which works well. The problem is let's pretend that you're counting all of the wine in your store, all of the Chardonnay. Now, if you just choose a blank inventory count and you miss a section of shelving, all right, the system will only tell you about discrepancies on the items that you've scanned. So what happens to the items that you didn't scan? Well, they won't appear as discrepancies. They won't have been counted. Or another example is, let's say that there's supposed to be a bottle of Chardonnay on the shelf that's not there. One of the vendors double-faced their product on the shelf and that other product disappeared. The system thinks you have one in stock, but really you have zero. It got stolen or it got broken, who knows what. Well, if you tell the system in advance that you're going to count Chardonnay by saying all items in a filter, and then you can say department equals, and then you can say Chardonnay or whatever, then it will tell you, hey, you're supposed to have one of this item, but you counted zero. Alternatively, you could say all inventory count. That means you're going to count everything in the store. Or for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to say a blank physical inventory count for manual entry. That just keeps it simple for the sake of watching this. So I'm going to save this. Now, one other thing that's important here is that you can only have one open. So you can see the status right here says open. You can only have one physical inventory count open per store location. If you try and create a second one, you'll get an error message. The reason why we've done this, we don't want two people who are supposed to be counting inventory together accidentally counting things separately. So now that I've created this, if you go back in and edit it, you can edit the notes, you can change the type, you potentially can see some reporting data, or you can click on it and say join inventory count and notice that I can join from here as well. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so right now this is just an empty list, and I'm going to start scanning barcodes. Okay? And then I'll type in, say, 15 and scan. Now notice one thing that's kind of neat here is that if I just scan barcodes, as long as my barcode scanner is configured to allow it, if I just scan barcodes, it'll assume one with each scan. So you can just scan, 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 it'll assume one. Or if I scan a product and type in, say, 12, and then I hit enter, and then it adds that to the list. Now, a few important things. Notice on this Kendall Jackson Chardonnay, for example, the count is 2. Okay? That's because I counted 1 and then I counted 1. Okay, so you see a track record of everything that you've been counting so far. This way, if you question what you were just doing, well, you've got a really good paper trail saying what was counted and by who. Another thing that you can do that might be helpful is you can add a description. So if you're counting in the back room or in a certain part of the store, and you kind of want to track that, you could say back room. Now notice when I'm typing in there, it's telling me, it's giving me the option to set this as the default. And if I do that, now as I start scanning, and I'll keep doing this. Okay, now you can see there's a little note next to it that says back room. So here the DeKuyper Peachtree, I can see that 15 were counted by Alan at this time, and 10 were counted by Alan in the back room at this other time. Now, what else is interesting about this is that I'm bringing up a second computer now into the screen recording. This is Apple Safari, so I could do this like from an iPad, for example. But here's my inventory count. I'm going to join this from a second computer. Now notice I can be doing this count on more than one machine at a time. So you could have 5 people counting inventory all at the same time. So I'm going to scan this product, and I'll say 15 again. All right, now notice that it changed up here and it changed down here, and you can see how it says Alan, Alan, and Adam. So it's keeping a log, and anybody who's doing the inventory can see what's been happening and what's changing and what they scanned last, so that if there's ever any question about who did what, or did I just count 1 or did I put in 10, you can go back and see that. Furthermore, if you scan an item, now you can also put in a negative quantity. If I accidentally counted 15 and I shouldn't have, I can put in negative 15. And now you can see that the count goes back to 25. Okay, so this is how you actually perform the step of counting your inventory. Now, before I leave the inventory counting function, also notice that there's an option to import. So besides just scanning product, you can actually import a file. So if you have an old school batch inventory scanner, you potentially can bring that data into this form instead of using it itself. Also note that while I'm using this on a browser on a PC, which could be a laptop, it could be a Windows tablet, it could be an iPad. Obviously you need a barcode scanner attached, but all of these are options. Once everybody is finished counting, no more counting happening, you can go to Edit Inventory Counting, and this will bring you to back to the inventory count that you originally started. Now, below here, you're going to see a list of all of the different discrepancies. So here you can see Kendall Jackson and Rose's Lime Juice. These all line up as you'd expect. I counted 8, I expected 8. Okay, I counted 2, I expected 2. Now notice the entry time. It says 3:25 at 2:55 p.m. This expected 2 is based on this time, and that time is the last time that I actually counted it. Okay, so if you're selling stuff in the store at the time that you're counting, which you can do, you need to be aware that this expected quantity is going to be on the basis of this time. So if it got sold beforehand or sold after, you need to be aware that 2 is based on 2:55 p.m. All right, then we also have counted 2, expected 0. I've got a delta, right? And it's showing me some, I'm over on 1, I'm under on 1, etc. So this bottom one I counted 13, but I only have 19. So you can print this out if you want by printing the browser, or when you're done and everything's good to go, you can go to is finished. Now you're going to get a prompt that says once you finish this, you can no longer do any more counting. It's done. And I'll click OK. And now that inventory count has been saved. So if I go back into the inventory count, you can see it's now closed. And if I drill down into it, now I actually can get a little bit better reporting even as well, where it'll show me counted, expected, delta. Now would be a good time to do your physical, your inventory valuation reports as well.